As Patrick said, my name is Mike McDougall. I am here because of this. This is the painting. My sister painted this while she was going through chemotherapy. I'll put this on the table for you guys in the back. While she was going through chemotherapy and bone marrow transplant. She was obviously an artist. When she was dying, she asked me if I would do her a favor. And obviously, what do you say to somebody? Absolutely. She said, can you get this out to as many cancer victims as you can? Because every single cancer victim that has taken this in their hands has done exactly the same thing. They took it, they looked at it, and they went, and you could see the tension coming off of them, even if it's only for a moment. So, since then, I have been going around and I have been speaking about my sister. I've also been speaking about cancer awareness, bone marrow donation, blood donation, and you know, a lot of speeches start, I'm honored to be here. And the reality is, ladies and gentlemen, that doesn't really do this justice. I'm honored in a way that you can't understand, or maybe you really do because of who you are. There's a lot of people in the world that just sit by idly and let things happen. And then there's people like you who say, you know what, the hell with that. And you get up and you do something about it. So I'm really actually very honored to be able to stand here today and discuss this with you. When I'm done, I'm going to ask you for a favor. It's not going to be anything that you wouldn't normally do. I'm just going to ask you to include passing this along to anybody who might just get a moment's respite from it. It's well worth it. If you look at it, you can see her emotions. If you look at it closely and you've done any time at Princess Margaret Hospital, you can see the parking lot across the road. There's a lot of different things that went into this, but mostly what went into it was her emotions, her faith, and her feeling that everything's going to be all right. Somewhere down the road, everything's going to be all right. I don't know if that's always true, but it's certainly easier to reconcile it when you've been somebody who's actually trying to do something and make a difference. So here we are with the painting. My sister put, as I said, her heart into this, and while a lot of it has very special meaning to her, a lot of it really touches people in a way that only people who've gone through traumatic incidences can understand. Faith, life. There's actually one down here, it says wonder and splendor. She just felt things and painted them into her painting. And then she wouldn't feel that fit and she'd paint over it and she'd get something else. She was fickle like that. I think all artists are. The reason that I've been doing this is to make people aware that there's people out there that really need your help. And especially the bone marrow aspect of it and the blood aspect of it, because obviously, as I'm sure you all know, cancer patients use a lot of blood. So, I'm not going to accomplish that here because you're who you are. You're already people who know all of this stuff. You're already people who understand all of this stuff, and probably some of you or many of you are already cancer survivors yourself. So I'm not going to get into that. What I am going to get into is this. This makes people feel good, even if only for a moment. Really what I want to get out of this is for even a couple of you to say, yeah, I can see that. I am going to pass it on. And maybe make somebody feel better. I sent Patrick a JPEG. I also sent him a link to the story, a story that I had written about this that's online. You can find that on Princess Margaret's website, as well as the RVH and different cancer organizations across the country. But the message is this. If you can help somebody, why would you not? And so many people have forgotten that. And as I look around here, I know I'm not amongst them. And that is why I can honestly say I'm really, really honored to be here. And I very, very much thank you for your time. If there's any questions about the painting, feel free to shout out. There's aspects of this painting that really touch people, like, for instance, the wording. My sister actually had a teacher named Hope, which is down here on the bottom. She had a doctor named Wonder. There's just so many things that came about through her experience that really ended up tying things together for her. And one of the things that I don't know if anybody's ever noticed this before, and I don't talk about this much because it's a bad word and I hate the word, but it's chemotherapy. And chemotherapy is just such a terrifying thing. So my sister was sitting there one time and she was doing this, and then she started doing something on another canvas, and she did chemotherapy in this huge, huge, massive, scrawling, artsy lettering. And there in the middle, screaming out at us, was the word mother. Has anybody ever noticed that? Chemotherapy. Mother. We lost our mother after a battle with multiple myeloma. She was diagnosed in '84. She looked at me and said, "Don't listen to them. They gave her 2 weeks to live." She said, "Don't listen to them. They don't know what they're talking about. I'm going to dance at your wedding." 4 years later, I got married. At the time, I didn't know I was getting married. Obviously, my mom did. But she danced at my wedding. She met her grandchildren. She kicked the hell out of that disease for 11 years. And it's a horrible one, as I'm sure you're aware. It's just horrible. Right after my mother died, my uncle died. Cancer. Right after my uncle died, my sister was diagnosed. She started off with Ewing sarcoma. Then the chemotherapy ended up giving her complete bone marrow failure. Right after my sister died, my mother-in-law died. Cancer. One of the stories that I wrote about it is 1 out of 4 might not seem so scary. Till you're standing where I'm standing. Because I'll tell you something, 1 out of 4, my God, I don't have all that many people left. I look around and I go 1 out of 4, I hope to God it's me. Because I really don't have that many people left. So 1 out of 4 as a big number up there, meaning nothing, well, that's not so bad. I'm the last of my line. I'm it. 1 out of 4, that's a little scary. It really is. It's a little scary. So, will you guys help me? Will you send this JPEG to whoever you think might get a moment's respite from it? And just add a little note. Please pass it on. That's really what my sister wanted. And that's really all I'm asking of anybody. Just pass it on. It's not going to make anybody money. It's not going to do anything for anybody except make them feel good for a few moments. And maybe they can feel good for a few moments every day. I have it as my screensaver. I see it all the time. And it affects me every day. And it's a very positive effect. So will you help me? I thank you very, very much for your time. And as I said, I sent a JPEG to Patrick and he can pass it on to you. If you want a copy of it, as a printed copy of it, give me an email and I can easily print them off for you. That's not an issue. And give me your address and I'll get it sent to you somehow. Or you can pick it up. Maybe Patrick can grab some from me and hold them as a stock. But that's really my only message. And one more thing. I don't know how many people tell you this, but you're truly extraordinary people. And I want to say, from the cancer victim's perspective, I really, really appreciate it. I really do. So thank you. Thank you all very much. That's all I have to say.